Hi folks, welcome to another Trailfish. I'm your host Glen, and this is my guest for today, Kris Green, and we find ourselves way up the Little Manatee River. This is an area that I don't think gets fished a lot, and there's a reason why. It's not easy.
It was tough.
Yeah, we've already been on this river once, and we did catch a few fish, but it took a cast of thousands to get those fish. It's winter time, and this is when they normally would scoot up, especially snook, to get up into the warmer areas of the river. I just don't feel like the Little Manatee has a lot of deep holes for them to find sanctuary in the real cold days. But that being said, there are fish up here, and the nice thing about it is that you can also get a mix of snook, reds, and bass. Now, the first trip we took, Kris, nice day, cold, sunny, and we went downriver.
Right.
We went downriver towards the 75 bridge, and we were looking for that kind of the magical break of that brackish fresh mix, that perfect mix to find these fish. And you did hit a nice fish, a redfish. For up here, it's a nice size red. Let's take a look at that right now.
Give him some more drag. Feels heavy, Glen.
Look at that boil out there. That's a decent fish.
A little bit more heat on him. Oh, you don't want to come in.
We'll get him in. I see copper. We got a nice fish here. Nice red. Oh, look at that. That's bigger than you think it is, Kris.
Yeah, it is. Look at the color of that copper.
Wow. Oh, look at that, folks. Oh, a little bit of spray on us, huh?
You want to try to grab him when he gets close, Glen?
I'll try and get him. Yeah, get that line.
Okay.
Daggone it.
That's okay.
Well, we saw him.
He was there. You had your hands on him. It's a catch.
Folks, did you see the red on that fish? Whew. Man, that was a nice colored red, wasn't it?
Yes.
That copper, the copper on that was really striking. I think when you get up into the water color of rivers, especially the reds, if you find them, because it's not easy to find reds up rivers, I think that it has that nice red copper.
Yeah, it does. It seems like the tannic acid and the cypress and stuff that's inside here creates that darkish red color in that fish. I mean, it's like a brilliant burnt orange that they have.
Now we lost him, or I lost him.
Well,
I chopped off him. I'm trying to hold the camera and grab the fish, and that was not a good idea. The net, that's what the net's for. But we saw it real well. Right. So that's a catch.
Sure.
That's a catch because I actually held the gill for briefly. Right. So after that, we kept on going. I think our plan was to keep on going downriver because we thought we would find more salt species, but still it was tough. We did come across small snook. You know, like 10 inches, 12 inches. And then finally, we did get into a spot where, as the tide was coming out, because this is tide influenced, this river, we found two snook at an opening that were taking advantage of the tide flushing out to try and nail baits. Take a look. Oh, that's a better snook. Look at that. Come on over here, fella. I think this is the first fish we've got in the boat today, Kris.
The rest of them we've turned loose?
Yeah, not for lack of trying. Don't slap. He slapped you, didn't he? He slapped you. All right, hold up. You got that hook in a weird way. Well, let's turn that camera over there, folks. And you see that little area right there? There's a few fish in there. really these little points along the rivers. When you're fishing rivers, it's really best if you're looking for snook. I don't want to bend him too much. I'm gonna let him go. He's got a weird. Let go. You're really trying, at least for snook up the rivers, to hit these points and these indentations that are going elsewhere, and it's manipulating the water. And at times, you know, when the tide is moving through here, and if it's tidal influence the river, it can move pretty hard. These fish just want to stay off to the side and not use so much energy. But right here are those points we're talking about. Throw in there, Kris.
Okay.
There it is. There it is.
Fish on.
These snook seem to be a little bit bigger than a few that we ran across earlier. We didn't even show them, they were so small. But these are a little better. Sizing up a little bit.
Nice little snook.
Yeah, he's dark. I mean, he's got dark contrast.
This brackish water in here is really, there we go.
So there you have it. That was the first day. And now we're back for some more pain and suffering. Punishment. Yeah, because we're going to have to do a lot more casts. I think that you're going to change up, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Let's see what you're going to use this time.
Well, yesterday, this is pretty much a go-to for me. It's made by Z-Man. It's a bad shad with an 1/8 ounce jig head. This is what I caught the redfish on yesterday and mostly all of my snook. For today, I'm going to try a jerkbait. It's made by Rapala or Rapala, however you choose to say it. It's about 3.5 inches long, simulates like a little shiner style minnow. So hopefully, I think we didn't get any bass yesterday, but I'm thinking that we can get a bass on this today.
I'm hoping that we get some bass. I'm going to kind of switch off my gold dart that I had the other day and go with more of a pearl color dart. And I think I'm gonna stay in the gold scheme and but switch to a DOA paddle tail. I want that vibration through the water. If that doesn't work and I just can't get a bass, because I feel like the first day I did have a bass on, it jumped and it looked like a bass with the gold dart. But if I feel like I really want to try after the bass and target it, then I'm going to actually switch to a Florida 5.0 worm.
Right.
And work that. So we're going to try some different things today to see if we can maybe up our numbers or get some things that we didn't catch the first time. The one thing that this place has is that you can't beat it. It's old Florida scenery, and you're not shoulder to shoulder with somebody else fishing. There's a lot of water here to work without ever seeing anybody around.
Right.
Chris, I feel like this is the old man's bench, and I think we've been on it long enough because I'm not that old. Now,
I've been here so long, I'm going to have a birthday.
Let's get up and get working, right, folks?
Let's go.
No doubt about it, Chris. This is a really scenic waterway that I think that doesn't get a lot of notoriety. Just not a lot of people up here, but we're fishing. But this is definitely a place that you could come and kayak. You're not worrying about big boats. You can get off at places. If you're really brave, you could swim a little bit in the shallow areas. But I'd be careful because we have seen gators in here. You always got to look out for that. But it's just, it really is a good piece of old Florida. And the fringes on each side of this river isn't a narrow fringe where it's just a little piece of green to accommodate the river to say it's protected. No, it's got some good pieces of land, good acreage out there on each side that's all wild. Folks, we finally got a fish on. Let's see what it is.
Oh boy, here it is.
It's going under.
Yep.
Is it another red?
No, I ain't seen it yet.
Oh,
it's a bass.
It's a bass. Look at the color of it. Look at the color of it too. Just bring it on in, Chris. You got it. Wow.
Beautiful.
That bass is the color of your jacket. I think that's what happened is you put that jacket on and you know, you caught a yellow bass.
He's bleeding a little bit. I want to get him in the water.
All right, go ahead.
Nice.
Well, finally a bass way up here, because we're way up, and it's all marshy up in here now. And Kris got a hit, and I thought, oh, it's got to be a snook. And then I saw that kind of greenish yellowish, and I knew it was a bass. Now, finally.
What you got, Glenn?
Right out here. I think it's a red. Yeah, it's a red. Not that big, yet he fought hard. It's a rat red, but boy did he fight hard. Well, we're near 75, and I stayed on this DOA paddle tail because I just felt like it looked like there could be reds. And this is the red we get in, the little rat red. He fought hard though. Look at where we're at, folks. We're in a cove. Just this little cove right here. And we've been nailing small snook about the size of this fish all up in here, but not close to the shoreline, a little bit further out. So I guess it's too shallow up there, but we finally got into a pile of fish. And now we're picking them up. Not big size, but you know what? You know what? You never know.
Were there small ones, there's big ones.
That's an official Kris Green slogan that you'll find on the wall of St. Pete Outfitters, because they're getting murals up there, and he wants some slogans. So there you go, Kris. That's a good slogan. All right. Fine. You know, you work. The river makes you work, but you can find them. Right here, Kris. Right there, look. Yeah, this is a better fish, whatever it is.
Whoa. Big snook. Big snook.
Oh. Gotta get him in.
Unbelievable. Get him in, Glenn. Get him in, Glenn.
He was right up, folks, right up against this shoreline. He's right by you, Kris. Go on down. Right here. He's going all over the place, folks.
It's a zoo.
Oh, look at that nice one. Come on, look at that. Look at that contrast, that darkness. All right, fella. It's the biggest snook we've gotten to both trips. So there you go. Okay, I know you want this thing out of your mouth. I don't blame you. Okay, there you go. River snook. We just sized up a little bit there. I'm telling you, these fish all seem like a gigantic fish, because they're hitting hard. They're on a feed now because it's been so cold all day. I think they're finally warming up. He's been feeding. He's not that skinny, but his head is a lot bigger than his body. Oh, he's got my thumb. Okay, you let go, and he's gone. Snook here. Here we go. Look at the coloration on that snook, very distinct. Okay, let him go.
Let's turn him loose.
Kris, this place is loaded. It's been a long stretch of nothing.
He grabbed it right there, almost pulled a pole out of my hands.
You almost got me. I'm not on the agenda, all right? Not my eyeballs, okay?
No.
That was a hit right there, huh?
Yes.
Look at where these fish are. Along this edge. Kris, let me see that lure. Well, I think this was a pretty good lure for up here. You know, at the end there in that bayou, this DOA with the gold and the glow, I think, at the bottom. I think that glows, yeah. The vibration or just the color, it definitely was a pretty good ticket in that bayou.
Right, and that black and gold one I had was also, black with gold glitter also worked really well.
Yeah, I don't know about this for bass, but I knew once we got out into the bayou, it just seemed more salty to me, you know, more of the salt life,
right,
as they say. We're heading back, and we got to get back before it gets cold and dark.
It's already cold.
Because I think you get nervous. You get really nervous. I already see that you've got your feet covered like grandma.
It's cold.
It's cold. Look at my feet. Look, free as a bird. Now, I may have frostbite by the time we get back, and then I'll be, I'll say, okay, you had the right idea. Folks, you're fishing the river, and this is any of the rivers in Tampa Bay in the wintertime. You really got to work to find the fish, but they're gonna be up there somewhere, getting away from the cold, and they'll come all the way up. I mean, we're pretty far upriver, aren't we, Kris?
Somewhere around 4.5 miles.
Yeah, but the congregation of fish was right at 75, so if you can just park your car off 75 and walk over, I think you'd be all right. Well, until next time, you stay warm, Kris, and we'll see you for another trail fish, folks.